and I bring greetings from the Heart Mountain, Wyoming Foundation, and they appreciate the honor. Okay, do I need to get closer? And they are sorry they're not able to be here today. But as we gather here today, I'm sure those of you who were interned will have all kinds of memories conjuring up about the evacuation, and I, for one, remember how it felt to get on the train as we were leaving from our village, and then to go into the assembly camp. And the very vivid memory that I hold is hearing the gate clanging shut and knowing that we were now incarcerated and our future was uncertain. We didn't know what was going to happen. And this again was repeated as we went off to Heart Mountain, going on the train several days as we were sidetracked oftentimes when another train had to go by, having to draw the shade so that the communities in which we were going didn't know what was aboard these trains, and then arriving at Heart Mountain in a very desert, people call it desert, but I called it sagebrush, miles and miles of it, very hot and dusty and terrible. Survive. And now if you were to look at Heart Mountain, you wouldn't recognize it from the description I've given you today. It is now lush, it's a farm area, and thanks to the Japanese in camp who dug the 12-mile canal from the Shoshone River that made it possible to bring water into that area, and the people in camp are the first ones to farm, and now it's a beautiful, beautiful valley, a beautiful area. And the people in Wyoming about 6 years ago, even though there have been caretakers who took care of the honor roll that was established while they were in camp about all the men that went off to war and the names of the men that were in the service already, but their families were there, they tried to take care of that honor roll. But 6 years ago, the Heart Mountain, Wyoming folks decided they needed to have a foundation, and they developed it, and it's a membership organization. They worked very hard with the Reclamation Bureau, trying to find land to be able to put up a museum. But because the reclamation is really for preservation, that failed as far as finding the land to put up such a building. So about 3 years ago, the board decided we wanted to buy land, so they bought 55 acres, the frontage of the Heart Mountain camp area, and through the generous donation of all kinds of folks, retirees, former internees, and friends, raised $200,000 and more to buy the land, and also enough money to refurbish and put in a new honor roll. And the honor roll will be dedicated, I think, sometimes this coming year. And Bacon Sakatani has been very, very instrumental in pushing that project.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to share with you this special anniversary today, on this special day and among special friends. Today we reflect on this sad part of our modern history and remember how innocent citizens were robbed of their human dignity in a large-scale effort of collective punishment. That collective punishment was affecting an entire ethnic group of our society. And as we bow in respect for those who had suffered at the hand of this injustice committed by our government, we wonder why it took 46 years to admit the moral tragedy of Manzanar. The important issue here, I think, is not the need for compensation or more apologies, but really a commitment from this country that no more Manzanars will ever take place. And I think it is a struggle to seek that commitment what drove people like Grace Harada, whose spirit we celebrate today, and many like her who had devoted their life for this important cause. That those arrested had not received contacts with their families since 9/11. The families had reported them missing, and finally when they gave up, they approached the FBI, who notified them that indeed they had been arrested. Each person is arrested is given a list of lawyers and phone numbers to select from. However, these lawyers are not specialized in criminal justice, but family law and divorce. and many of them have their phones disconnected and had moved away. There's also been flagrant violations of civil laws by the police and the FBI.
About September 11th and what feelings they brought up within us. What we're going to do this afternoon is the culmination of that piece, which is Traci's contribution to it.
And I don't know if you're staying for the evening program at 6:30, but we're going to do the other third, Kennedy's third. So please come for that. And I wanted to recognize my parents. My mom, she came here when she was 2, and she was here till the end. And my dad, today, April 27th, is the 60th anniversary of when he came here. He came here April 27th, 1942. So I wanted to recognize my folks. And they and Manzanar were one of the first things that I thought about when I woke up that morning of the 11th. And I also thought about a friend that I lost touch with back in college. And I wondered about how she was feeling and her safety. So this is for her. Black hair. Long, wavy, or maybe recently cut short like your breath. As you woke up the same time as I did on a morning you will never forget was a Tuesday, sometime before 7 a.m. here, and 10 a.m. over there. And you don't know this, nor have the time to care. But we woke up the same second of the same minute,
sometime before 7 a.m.
to the sound of a gasp clogged by mourning.
Plagued by shock, heightened by confusion.
And the sound was so much louder than the volume of the TV you fell asleep to last night.
But the empty room surrounding you in your bed tells you that gasp came from your throat.
It knew before the rest of you what your eyes would adjust to on the TV screen.
You rubbed your eyes like this.
Like I did, as they caught up to your ears.
Which could hear reports indicating that the smoke rising from the fiery tower was no accident.
So you propped yourself up onto your elbows and forearms to have a steadier glimpse just as your belly took control again and pushed out another cry through your throat and out of your jaw wide open at the sight of the tower's twin falling, collapsing, dying
before your eyes, before
terrorism
slipped from the reporter's mouth,
before you had time to catch breath,
fear
fell into your stomach. Feeling weak in every joint, you went to the bathroom to at least ease your bladder.
You washed your face. Your hands poured water over your head as your eyes looked through dripping water at the mirror.
My black hair, you thought. My black hair is so long and wavy, maybe I should have it cut short, so I will look less like terrorism. The kind that reporter envisions. Maybe I should have it cut short like my sleep. I can't remember my dreams from this morning. I'm never up this early in the morning.